Shalom, 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 shalom to all of you, my Heavenly Father's children. You saw the thumbnail. Some of y'all that came in the room already ready to hear about Hanukkah. Yes, that's our true feast, Zion. The word Hanukkah, it means dedication. I'm giving you some time to get in the room. It means dedication. Oh, yes. And the question tonight is, why would the heathen teach us the fairy tale of Christmas? Why would the heathen teach us about jolly old Saint Nick? I don't understand. Why would the heathen teach us? I'm talking about the Hebrew Israelites of the Bible. I'm talking about those of us scattered to the four corners of the earth by this heathen. Don't forget, they are the ones that put us on the slave ships. What made them teach us Rudolph, the red-nosed reindeer? Why'd they do it? Why'd they teach us that when we were children? They said, had a very shiny nose. And if you ever saw it, you would have to say it glows. Why they teach us that? I'm just trying to ask questions tonight. You know what they said? They said all of the other reindeer. Who? The other reindeer, you know them, Dasher and Dancer and Prancer and Vixen and Donner and Vixen. You know them all. Don't act like y'all don't know them reindeer. They said all the other reindeers used to laugh and call him names. Y'all read it. Hey, y'all know them stories. Don't act like you don't. You know that story. They said all the used to call him names, and they would not let poor Rudolph join in any reindeer games. Damn. No reindeer game? No. Then one foggy Christmas Eve, this is what they said. This is what they taught you instead of the Bible. That's all want you to see. They said, then one foggy Christmas Eve, it says Santa came to say, Rudolph. Rudolph said, yeah. With your nose so bright, won't you guide my sleigh tonight? What? Yeah. Santa asked Rudolph to guide his sleigh that night. But then all the other reindeers left him. Yeah, they started running around in glee, shouting in glee. And then Rudolph, the red-nosed reindeer, you going down in history. They taught us that. I'm Dr. Yoshiyahu Dawid Ben Israel, a seer in the house of Israel. The Most High Yah has called me out of the darkness into the marvelous light to expose the wiles of the devil, to show you all who you are for real and whose you are, and to let the whole world know that this heathen is off the hook when it comes to teaching us and making sure we know that Christmas stuff. They told you about Rudolph. Let me tell you what they told you. They told you that it was the night. Y'all can almost answer it. They said the night before Christmas. That's what they said. They said, no, listen, this is one and wild. It was the night before Christmas. And all through the house, not a creature, not one. But they had us looking like this, like, for real? Yes, sir. Not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. They made us learn it. The reason why y'all responding like you are in the chat is because you know that. They taught it to you. They made sure you know it. Up on the housetop, the reindeer's paw. Out jump good old Santa Claus. Look, all y'all like, oh damn. I'm like, what you thinking? Like, how much do I know? Oh, they taught you. On the 12th, watch this. Finish it for me. On the 12th day of what? Right in the chat. See, I don't have to do much. I'm a seer. Once I show you, you're like, whoa. Everything he's saying, I don't even remember learning it. See? On the 12th day of Christmas, y'all wrote it. He said, my what? What's the next one? My what? What's the next one? On the of Christmas, my what's the very next word? Look at, see? Y'all, this is my point. Who taught you that? Because you know that's not in the Bible, nowhere. That's not anywhere in the Bible. But you know it. You already know it. Finish this one. Silver bells. Silver bells. What's the very next line? Write it in the chat. Let the world know we've been taught this. Even though we didn't learn it, even though we had a Bible, we never. Let the world know you know this by heart. Silver bells, silver bells. What's the next line? And watch the text. Who said that? Can you write his rain? Who else? Simon and boy, y'all rolling through here. It's Christmas time in the city. How do you know that line? And is it really a Christmas? You see what I'm saying? How do you know these things? I'm talking about I could just start a song. I ain't even got to finish it. But let me keep going with this. Chestnuts roasting where? Right in the chat. Chestnuts roasting where? Write it in the chat. You know, family, I can't do you tonight. I can't do you tonight. That taught me that one. Boy, look at chestnuts roasting by the open fire. How do y'all know that? Who taught you that? Jack Frost nibbling at your nose? Yuletime carols being sung by the choir? And then what? Anybody know the next line? Then we get deep into the song. You even you see it? Folk dressed up like Eskimo. Wow, because everybody knows. Some turkey, some mistletoe. See what I'm saying? You know this stuff. You know it by heart. I have probably asked you over 10 things, maybe more. I could do this so long tonight if I wanted to. I could talk about watch the more right now. I could talk about this make-believe, false, heathen fairy tale. And y'all know more about a fake heathen fairy tale. Y'all know more about that than you know your Bible. I want you to really let that sink in. Like, how do I know so much about this damn Christmas? I got a date for you. What day is Christmas? Put in the chat. Don't look it up. Just put it in the chat. What day is it? Let me see if anybody got it. Look. Everybody put it in the chat. But you know what they do to the Morehyosh every year? When is Passover? Every year they call the ARK. So when is actual Passover? Huh? So when is first fruit? What? So when are we doing Sukkot this year? Huh? Every year we flattered with that. But when I say, when is Christmas? December 25th. Boy, know the fake and don't know your Bible. You know all the lies. You got the lies down pat. Don't act like you don't know the abominable snowman. I can ask you a question. What did the Grinch steal? Write it in the chat. What did the Grinch steal? Look at that. Look. You see how the chat is just moving? Boy, y'all participating tonight. Total. I just want you to think. I'm just trying to think of more things. Now that y'all writing them, I'm trying to think of more things that you just know off the top of your head. You know it by heart, and it's not real. It's a fairy tale made up by some heathen that you have memorized. Where is Santa Claus workshop? Right in the chat. Where is it? Let me look. Where is it? Now remember, you don't forget that you are Israelite. Look at what they writing. Everybody know. Listen, I keep telling you, ain't no such thing as Santa Claus. None. It's fake. It's a made-up story. But you know everything about it. You know everybody in North Pole. And then when I ask you certain questions of the Bible and ask you where was, matter of fact, I could Nat was earlier, I had a chance to go with him listen to him on his Bible study. If I asked you all to name the mountain where Isaac was tied to the wood, that Abraham almost killed him, y'all would have to pull out your phone. You'd have to go to your Bible and look it up. But when I say, where does Santa Claus make his toys? The North Pole. Ain't no damn Santa Claus. There's no such thing as Christmas. There's no such thing as that. And you know more of something that ain't nothing. Let me tell you how much y'all know. What does this made up Santa Claus want to eat when he come down to visit in the morning? Put it in the chat. What does he want to eat? Let me look. Let me put my glasses on so I can see what I ain't looking at. Milk and so y'all even know what this thing want to eat? But you don't know the diet laws of the Bible. You don't know what you're supposed to eat. But you know what to feed it. You know what to feed. A make-believe figment of a heathen's imagination, and you yourself don't know the biblical diet law. You're going to make sure that a make-believe get milk and cookies, but then you'll feed your own child a roach. You'll feed your own child a spider, a skunk, a possum, a nasty squirrel, a swine, and all the while say, he could eat that, my baby can eat that. Why? I'm going to pray over it. But you won't give that to a make-believe character. You do know ain't no Santa Claus. I could go into so much detail about this, y'all will make your head spin when I start talking about how much you know. Okay, here's one. Is Santa Claus hair long or short? Write it in the chat. Is his hair long or short? Write in the chat. Everybody knows it's long. Somebody trying to be funny. Everybody put long, long, long. Of course it is. You know it is. You see you get what I'm saying? Do y'all see it? But then when somebody talks to you about your Messiah, all of a sudden you don't know nothing about his hair. You don't know nothing about his color, his texture. I can ask you what color Santa Claus, you'll tell me, even though he don't exist. Ask you where he live, you tell me. Ask you what he want to eat, you tell me. Ask him how many times he travel a year, you tell me. I ask you how does he travel? Y'all can tell me. Matter of fact, how does he travel? How does he travel? Write it. How does he move around? How? Tell me. How does he move? With a slave, see? How do you know that? I'm trying to help the whole world see how absurd. I'm going to tell you how much mind space this is taking up. How does he get in the house? I've got another question for you. How does this fat white man get in your house every year? Write it in the chat. How does he get in the house every year? Look, everybody know it. Some of y'all writing chimney in the chat ain't got no chimney in your house. You ain't got nary a chimney in the house. You living in an apartment. Some of y'all on the 5th floor, 8th floor, 10th floor watching the moon ray. Some of y'all watching me, man. Y'all ain't got nary a chimney. But then you know your ancestors and your people, they ain't got no chimney neither. But they still believe he's coming. Tell the kids, Santa Claus is coming. Santa Claus is not coming, baby. And what made you think where the chimney? So he just make up a chimney? What is happening here? The reason why I'm bringing this up is to show you how much you know about nothing. And then I'm going to show you how much you don't know about something. Because Christmas is fake. It's a figment of people's imagination. It's a time for wickedness and debauchery. It's a It was called Saturnalia. It's the worship of the birth of the sun. It's the worship of the birth of Tammuz. It has to do with the winter solstice. It's the worship. And obviously, I'm trying to get you all to understand something, that part of worship is understanding the narrative of why you're worshiping. When you study Christmas, the reason why people, for some reason, I don't know what's going on in the mind, but they don't feel like that's worship. But you know everything about it. It's worship. You know all the songs. You know the prayers. You know the food. You know the date. You know how long it lasts. You know when to put up a tree, how long to leave it in your house. You know when it's supposed to come down. You're supposed to, you know what I mean? What food you're gonna serve? It's gonna be that nasty pig. It's gonna be them swine, no matter what, hams and all that. It's gonna happen. Y'all know it. You're gonna follow it up with some pig intestines and some pig shite. You're gonna eat that. Then you're gonna mix that up with some other kind of pots of abomination. You already know the whole routine. It's worship. And why is it that this heathen wanted you to know so much about this fairy tale? But nothing about Hanukkah. They don't want you to know anything about the dedication that took place this time of year. They don't want you to know that. And I want you to know the truth. So let me see, in the time I have left, I have a lot of questions for y'all, but I'm not going to put you on the spot. Because some of you all are new to the channel. Some of you all are just waking up to the truth. And this is not, I'm not putting out this video necessarily to shame you. I'm putting this out to wake you up about how much you've been deceived and how much you've been indoctrinated ever since you were a child. Because right now, nobody in this chat can remember being sat down in Santa Claus 101 and taking a test, and then Santa Claus 102 and passing the test, and Santa Claus number 103. No. You've never taken a quiz, a test. You never went to college. You never got your PhD. You learned the lyrics to every single song. You know almost every movie by heart. You even know some of the characters in the movie. You know all of the latest movies. You know the older movies. All of that would be called in college required reading, required knowledge, required viewing. And you all right now would get an A in the satanic ritual of Saturnalia. Now you wouldn't get an A plus because some of y'all don't know about Black Pete. So that you might get a mark off for that. They don't teach about Black Pete. But those in the Netherlands and places like that, they know the Morehyosh truth. And you don't know about Crumpet because they don't teach you that that's the other side of white Santa Claus. He's a demon. And they paint him black. And it's the most hideous demon. Boy, you look at the way these heathens come up in their imagination. He's the ugliest, most hideous demon with fangs and his mouth dripping blood from eating children, kids, babies, adolescents. They kill and maim and torture and eat children. See, you would miss the marks if they was giving you a test because you would say, I didn't know that. Yeah, that was the extra credit that you didn't read in the back of the book. Hanukkah exposes something. And tonight, I just want to talk about it exposes the cover-up. The reason that they needed a story to tell us was to cover up what was really going on in our lives among our people and what happened to us this time of year. So they created a cover-up story and got us involved with the cover-up story. And it's so sad because the story that they covered up was the story of Hanukkah. And no, that ain't no European celebration. This celebration comes straight out of Northeast Africa. This memorial has to do with the house of Israel, biblical Hebrew Israelites that was minding our own business, trying to turn to the Most High Yah, coming out of captivity, trying to resettle in the land, trying to build the temple, trying to organize, trying to return to the Elohim of our forefathers after being in captivity for 70 years in Babylon. And yonder come the heathen. Now, the European did not create Hanukkah. Hanukkah is a Hebrew word. Yes, Afro-Asiatic, what they simply saying a black word. It's a Hebrew word. The people who came up with that word was us, the Hebrew Israelites. It means dedication. And it has to do with dedicating the temple after it had been desecrated by the hands of this heathen. What heathen? The same heathen that's teaching you about Santa Claus, snow miser and heat miser. Same heathen lying to you about a mother nature, abominable snowman, Frosty the snowman. What is with these snowmen? Oh yeah, because they from the snow. We're from the Mediterranean. It's not our festival. It's not our feast. If y'all still rolling with the moray on tonight, and you understand what I'm saying, and you see it crystal clear, if you don't mind, place a hallelujah 100 that these things are being brought out tonight, that these truths and these realities are staring us right in the face like, why do I know so much about something that don't exist? Why do I care about a nursery rhyme? Why do I care about a made-up story that came up out of the snow that don't have nothing to do with me, don't have nothing to do with my master, my savior, my redemption, has nothing to do with my life. It cannot help me live better. It can't make me walk better or talk, be a better husband, a better family, a better child. It can't help us have a better community. It can't bring us closer to our covenant. It can't do anything. What is with us being so dedicated to something that don't mean nothing? But then when it comes to something that does mean something, which is the story I'm going to show you tonight, we don't know nothing about that. It's called Hanukkah. The word is dedication. And we talk about the rededicating. Why? Because our temple was desecrated. The abomination of desolation. Who's in that chat? Shalom. Nat is in the room. Nat, I tried to give you a call earlier today, bud. Oh my. Oh, we. Toda Rabah. Taking us to Mount Moriah. Toda Rabah, letting us see it one more time. And how beautiful and how perfect the word of Yah is. I'm glad you came in here tonight. Good to have you in the room. Shalom, shalom. All right. And plus, and all of you that's in the room, shalom. Oh, by the way, y'all support the work of the ARK. How do you do it, Moreh? Through tithes and offerings. Why should we do it? It's biblical. The ARK is full time. And yes, I'm the one I make the videos, but I've also been tasked with raising the monies for the ARK. It's part of my task of asking that you all would actually look in the Bible and see the tithe and offering and see this ministry worthy. See that it fits the biblical description of a ministry that you want to support that's teaching you the Torah. We don't have to worry about no chandeliers and none of that kind of thing. We ain't talking about no jets and all that. I don't care about that stuff, but the point I'm making is when you give to this ministry, you are giving to a ministry that's teaching you the Torah, which is the actual Bible, the word of Yahweh. We ain't giving it to no Easter egg hunts and Christmas parties and trying to raise money with chitlin struts and whatever else y'all be them heathens and them slumber brews are doing in the so-called churches. We don't do that. We take the money that's being brought forth and we focus primarily on one thing, studying the Bible and making sure we teach it to you as clear as we possibly can. And then we invest money into the ministry so we can do meetups, so we can do preaching events and teaching events and workshops, so that we can do our feast days, so we can take care of our staff that's full-time and part-time and sponsors and sometime. Yes, it's very positive. So I would ask that you support through the tithes and offerings, especially if you're learning and especially if your eyes are opening up to the truth. All right, I forgot to start my that's why I keep looking at the time, because I forgot to start my little timer that I have. I left it in my bag. So I want to just start off saying, this book right here called the Apocrypha. When you bought a Bible back in the day, I have one. Matter of fact, I got two. When you bought a Bible back in the day, this book was inside the Bible like this. And where it was situated in your Bible, this is back in the day. When you bought a Bible, especially if you go get an old Bible, even a King James Version, which you already know, I done told you about that King Jimmy. Got a lot of issues, I know. But this is what you would do. It would have Malachi, and at the end of Malachi, it would be a book inside of that called the Apocrypha. So you'd be reading the Bible, and then you get to the Apocrypha, and you would read the Apocrypha, and then you would be in Matthew. That's the way it used to be. And the reason that they called this the Apocrypha was because of the fact that they could not 100% validate everything in the Apocrypha with the rest of the Bible. But the people thought that it was so important and that the stories were so important that it would be wrong not to have it. So they made sure that people understood that it was in the Bible, but it was not necessarily as inspired as the 66 books. That's what they did. So they said, look, we ain't going to leave it out. We're going to have it in. Right? So then everybody back in the day grew up understanding the Apocrypha, or at least it was in the Bible. But then, ain't it interesting that around the time of the slave trade, and during that time, during slavery, they start taking it out. And the closer they got to releasing the slaves, they was pulling this out of the Bibles. So why do you mention that, Moreh? Because at one point, they said it's important enough to just keep in the Bible. But then all of a sudden, around the time that we getting ready to come up out of captivity, they take it out. So because they took it out, it made us believe that one, it should have never been there, or two, it's all fake. But I want to share something with you. It's not fake. Especially the Maccabees. But this book right here, I want you to see something. I'm going to help the whole world. They're not teaching you this. It furthers the university's mission by disseminating knowledge in the pursuit of education, learning, and research at the highest international levels of excellence. The people that wrote this said, we got to do the best we can. I want to show you one of the books, because the Apocrypha has in it other books. So you see there's first Esdras, second Esdras, Tobit, Judith, the rest of Esther, the Wisdom of Solomon, Ecclesiasticus, Baruch, the Song of the Three Holy Children, the History of Susanna, Bel and the Dragon, the Prayer of Manasseh, and then Maccabees 1 and Maccabees 2. So that's in this book. There's more than one story, or there's one or more book in here, just like there's more than one book in the Bible. All right, so I just want to put that out there. Why? Because when you get to the book of Maccabees, the first book of Maccabees is real. When we read the events recorded in the first book of Maccabees. In the world of higher learning and higher education internationally, it has been proven that all the events in the book of Maccabees actually happened. In other words, this is real history. This ain't no Santa Claus. There ain't no damn reindeers. This ain't he miser, snow miser. This ain't no none of that kind of. No, this is real history. And secular and sacred, that's biblical and non-biblical sources, state and agree that Antiochus Epiphanes was a real king after Alexander the Freak died. Well, they say Alexander the Great. I say Alexander the Freak. Woo! He was a freaky dinky. He was a freaky diddler before the diddler. Boy, him and the diddler would have had a party that y'all know nothing of. Woo! Y'all thinking that boy, this dude right here, oh my. Everybody knew it too. He was a freak. And he was so messed up mentally. His mind was so debased. All he could think about was freak-offs and murder. Freak-offs and killing. Freak-offs and conquer. And then freak-offs more. He forced all of his soldiers to have freak-offs with each other, so that all of the army was sexually involved with each other all the time. He believed in his heart that if they are having sex with each other, it created a stronger bond and made them fight harder for the life of their lover. Alexander the Freak. And he was so bloodthirsty. He was so sickening. He was so disgusting as a human, as an individual, that it is told that he died, what they believe is of venereal diseases. And when he was dying, they said he was crying. So he crying while he dying, and they asked that fool, man, why are you crying? They thought it was because he was dying. He said he's crying because he didn't have no more worlds to conquer. He was crying because he couldn't do no more killing, burning, raping, pillaging. He was crying because there was nowhere else to go steal, to ruin, to burn. Gross, sick, nasty, twisted freak. The Bible calls him the worst of the heathens. This nasty thing, this monster, was not happy just fighting people next door to him. No, he went on a world conquest. He was a whoremonger and a warmonger. And he couldn't stop. Once he started eating and tasting blood, he couldn't stop. He was sick. So this book starts with Alexander the Freak. And it happened after Alexander, son of Philip, the Macedonian, stopped. So now what has happened? Daniel's prophecies have come true, which we already know that, but I'm talking about in the Maccabee. Daniel's prophecy has come true. What was that, Moray? They're going to ask. You know what? One of the, I really appreciate this too. Somebody wrote the ARK, and then, like I say, every now and then Jazz will send me a text message. So when you guys write the ARK, believe me, we read everything. And every now and then, if we don't answer, like if one of the staff don't answer, she'll send it to me, right? And she sent something, and she said that it was such a. At first, I didn't know if the person was trying to be funny or the person was serious. I read it a couple of times, and they were serious. So they said, "Could you quiz us more when you're teaching?" So it's good for us. When I say, put this in the chat or answer this before I get there, right? And I thought about it and I said, yes, of course I can. We all trying to learn the Bible, right? What I'm teaching y'all, I know it. So when she wrote that letter to me, or he knows a she. When she wrote the letter to me, I thought about it. I said, I'm going to do it more. I got to make a conscious effort. I'm going to do it right now. In Daniel's vision of the kingdoms of the world, it was really Nebuchadnezzar's vision. But when Daniel interpreted the vision of the statue, I'm going to do this fast. What was the metal of the head? Put it in the chat. Just put it in there. What was the head? Let me look in the chat. Who got that? That was quick. Yes. The head of the statue, the Nebuchadnezzar statue, was gold. You 100% correct. Turn over the Bible. We learning the Bible. You're going to learn more here than you ever learned in your life. Hallelujah. Now, this might be a little more difficult, but what kingdom was gold? What was the golden kingdom? That you got the gold right. What was the golden kingdom? Let's see that. Yes. Wow. Wow. Y'all know that's y'all don't realize how good that is. You have no idea. Yeah, Babylon. Okay, the next one. The next level, which would be what? The chest. What was it? What's the next? The first one was gold, you're right. The next metal was what? What was the next metal? Silver. Ain't that something? Why don't, hey, y'all, I'm loving this. I'm loving this. Do you know what kingdom the silver represent? So here, see, let me get that. I'm trying to find that verse. Hold on, let me get up with y'all. Yeah. All right, here we go. Do y'all know what chapter that is? I just got it in my Bible. Exactly. Thank you, Z. She got it in the chat. Look at y'all putting it in here. All right, so let's go ahead and get it. So Daniel chapter 2, the great image, brightness was excellent, stood before the verse 32. Daniel 2:32. This image head was of fine gold, his breast and his arms of silver, his belly and his thighs of brass, and his legs of iron, his feet part of iron and part of clay. All right? So here, I'm trying to see where does it get to when he said, oh yeah, here we go. And it says in verse 38, and whithersoever the children of men dwell, the beasts of the field and the fowls of the air of heaven hath he given into thine hand, and hath made thee ruler over them all. Thou art this head of gold. And after thee shall rise another kingdom inferior to thee, and another kingdom of brass, which shall rule over the earth. And the fourth kingdom shall be strong as iron. For as much as the iron breaketh in pieces and subdues all things, and as iron breaketh all these, it shall break in pieces and bruise. So this kingdom here, we're talking about the Medes and the Persians. So the Medes and the Persians are who rule, I'm trying not to go too fast, who rule after Nebuchadnezzar, Babylon. Okay? King Darius, not the one, because there was more than one Darius, not the Darius that announced to the world that Daniel's Elohim is an Elohim. But Darius has children, and they received the title. I don't even know exact. I should have looked it up before the lesson, I guess. But how they received the name Darius or why they would do it, they said there's probably at least 3 or 4. When Alexander showed up, that was Greece. And it would be Greece that would conquer Persia. So remember, the Medes and the Persians are together. And I'm not going to get into all of that because it gets a little complicated the way it went back and forth. Kind of the same people that would fight and it would change hands, right? But when Greece came, Greece stopped it. The Greco world, those people were satanic. The world had never seen nothing like this. And that's saying a lot, being a historian like I am, and a biblical scholar like I am. That's saying a lot. Because I've read the whole Bible, and I'm telling you, it has been some terrible stuff done to people in the Holy Bible. And we could begin with African Egypt. And then we can talk about Persia. And then we can talk about all the other nations that treated us bad. Nineveh. And man, this could keep going, right? And then, of course, 70 years in Babylon. But we had never seen nothing like them Greeks. Especially nothing like this freak. People, our people, the Israelites, we started believing that this guy was Satan incarnate, that he was Satan in a body. You got to think about that. Out of all the wickedness in the world, our people had never seen no wickedness like this. Unbelievable. So this guy, again, like I told you, he's a nasty, dirty, sick freak. All he could think about is killing and plummeting and pillaging, and it was just nasty. The world, as a matter of fact, the Bible says he came. He was the son of Philip the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Chittim. He had smitten Darius, the king of the Persians, and the Medes. Remember, I told you that the Medes and the Persians, it went back and forth, and he reigned in his stead. And he was who? The first over Greece. This is not just the book of Maccabees. All history records Alexander the Freak. They got statues of him. They still have renditions of him. This dude was sick, man. And he died wishing he could conquer more people, kill more people. Unbelievable. So he died. And verse 2. I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. And he made many wars and won many strongholds and slew the kings of the earth. Told you, just went around. He just woke up one day and said, I want to kill everybody. It's just a dude was insane. And he went through the ends of the earth. I want y'all to see that the more is telling you what y'all love, and that's the truth. He wasn't just fighting little wars around his house so he could be. No, this dude was so wicked and so sick and satanic, he couldn't sleep, knowing that there was somebody that he hadn't killed, someone that he hadn't conquered, some king that was still ruling. It was just, this dude was just a nasty freaking freak. And he went through to the ends of the earth. Do you see that? And took spoils of many nations, insomuch that the earth was quiet before him. What does that mean? He scared everybody. I know I sound like I'm just beating this dead horse, but this dude is a dead demon, a dead dog. The world hadn't seen nothing like that. The world hadn't seen nothing like this. These are some nasty, sick, twisted people who decided they wanted to take over the entire world. And what's crazy is he did it. I could go deeper into how they ended up falling, but that's not my lesson. When he did it, he was exalted, and his heart was lifted up. And he gathered a mighty strong host and ruled over the countries and nations and kings, who all had to give him money. That means that tributaries unto him. And after these things, he fell sick. This is all recorded in history, but we also had it in our Bible at one time. Ain't that something? We had it in the Bible at one point. The heathen took this out. When we started learning, when we about to get set free, they like, oh, we gotta get this out of here. Why? Because you tried to tell us that Alexander the Freak was Alexander the Great, and you going to hell for that. The only thing he was great wickedness and great sickness and great perversion. This dude was a devil. And his heart was lifted up, and he gathered a strong and mighty host and ruled over the countries and nations and kings who became tributaries to him. And after these things, he fell sick and perceived that he should die. Yeah, you out of here. Wherefore he called his servants, such were honorable. That's to him. Now, I'm going to show you that his honor is a sick honor, because one of the people that he calls, or that the people was honorable, is Antiochus Epiphanes, that we're going to talk about. But let's look at it. honorable and have been brought up with him from his youth. These are boyfriends. And he parted his kingdom among them while he was yet alive. Like right before he died, he brought his friends. So Alexander reigned 12 years and then died. Woo, if I was preaching a sermon, that would be a sermon right there. Because he's still dead to this day. Verse 8, and his servants bear rule, every one of them in his place. They ain't taught you this in school, did they? You went to church your whole life. Nobody taught you this story. The more ain't going to teach it, though. You didn't learn this in kindergarten. You learned about snowmen. You learned about corn cob pipes and button noses and stuff. But you didn't learn about the dirtiest, nastiest human on earth. The sickest conqueror that ever breathed oxygen. Who had the most twisted army that the world had ever seen. Bloodthirsty. Just sick. And his servants bear rule, every one of them. And after his death, what did they do? They all put crowns upon themselves. What? His friends crowned themselves and made themselves king. Do y'all remember? I've been teaching a whole lesson titled Counterfeit King. These are all counterfeit kings. The reason that they were able to fight and conquer was because they were nasty. These were some sick, twisted people. It's hard to even read it sometimes. After his death, they all put on crowns, so did their sons after them, many years. And Maccabees chapter 1, verse 9, and evils were multiplied in the earth. That's the Bible. The heathen told you that was a good thing when Alexander went out. That's not what the Bible said. The Bible said, no, that was evil that went out of Greece. This is the beginning of the worst of the heathen. And I know y'all gonna look at this and go, Moreh can't get no worse. You a lie. Because this dude right here, as bad as he is, Antiochus Epiphanes is worse than him. And when we get down to the days of Hamashiach, the real king, whoo, them Caesars, they was worse. Blood, thirsty, animalistic, base heathens. It's unbelievable when you read this. And there came, what time is it? Oh yeah, we just telling a story tonight. Can we stay in the room a little longer? Administrators, if you don't mind, stay in the room a little bit longer. Would you put a 12 for the 12 tribes of Israel? If y'all can stay with the movie a little bit longer. I know it gets late. She says she can stay. Nat can stay. Oh, okay, we got some administrators that can stay. All right, the rest of y'all that want to stay in the room with the movie, told her about for them 12s. Because I got to get through some of this. I wanted to stop, but I was just looking at it. I got to mention this because y'all not going to believe it. And you're going to see why they don't teach you this. You're going to see why they don't teach you. Listen to this. And evils were multiplied in the earth. That sounds like the beginning of a horror movie, don't it? And it's true. It was the beginning of a horror movie. But it wasn't a movie. It was real. And there came out of them a wicked root. Antiochus, surname Epiphanes, son of Antiochus the king, who had been a hostage in Rome. And he reigned in the 157th year of the kingdom of the Greeks. In those days, there went out of Israel wicked men. What? Yeah. Who persuaded many, saying, let us go make covenant with the heathen. Now you know who the heathen is in the Bible. These Greeks and this Antioch, those are the heathens. And y'all be laughing at the Moreh, poking fun at the Moreh, think I just be talking. Man, he calling everybody a heathen. But y'all don't know. You're going to learn one day. When I use certain words, I got it out the Bible. I don't just be talking. Now, the white folk was trying to tell us that we were the heathens, that we were the savages, that we were the uneducated, the unlearned, the uncivilized. But our Bible had a different message. The Bible said, no, they're the heathen. This dude right here come out of wickedness and evil. He is a root. He come out like a spring out of a root, out of a wicked root. This dude is sick, I'm telling you. That whole group, man, something wrong with them. They were heathens. And our people were scared of them. Just like they scared of them today, the same heathens. So they said, let's make a covenant with the heathens that are round about. He said, because since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow. In other words, man, ever since we decided to stay separate, which is Koalition, the heathens keep bothering us. And so this device pleased them well. In other words, they agreed. Who did? We did. I almost named this message tonight. I almost named this message, What Happened to Us? I almost named it that. I almost named it, What Actually Happened to Us? The beginning of the end of us as a nation started here. It didn't start in Babylon. The beginning of the end of us as a nation started with these Greeks. I told you they were different. Their mind was so different. Their disposition, their behavior, that whole sexual deviant thing, that sex with killing and drug blood and guts and weird torture and all that kind of stuff that we, as bad as our people were, we had never seen any humans act like this. We didn't even think he was a human. I'm telling you the truth. If I read this whole thing, y'all be like, oh man. Especially if I showed you, but he's going to mention it here. But if I read to you that woman and her 7 sons, that dude, man, this dude is sick. And his kids are sick. And the world we live in is still sick to this day. So the people were afraid of these people because they were so dirty and nasty and killing and didn't have no conscience about them. So our people are always going to be some stepping fetches. They're like, man, let's just join them. So they leave us alone. So then certain other people, verse 13, were so forward herein that they went to the king, who gave them license to do after the ordinance of the heathen. Did you hear that? He said, yeah, y'all can go on to do what the heathen is doing. This is when we started going all the way back. Verse 14, the first thing they did, whereupon they built places of exercise at Jerusalem. Of what? They built a gym. Why? The worship of the body. And watch this. Everybody who went to the gym had to work out naked. And when you go to the gym today, everybody in there naked. A woman can't just go to the gym in sweats. No, she got to put on the tightest tight. Matter of fact, she got on drawers. The man just can't go in there with some sweats on. No, he got to go in there with drawers. And if they could, they would take their drawers off. They wicked heathens. And right now, our people are getting caught up in the gymnasium and don't even know where that come from. The gymnasium don't come from Israel. We didn't have to go to the gym. We already was built. We didn't have to work out. We went to the water. We went down and gathered our water. You understand? We plowed our own fields. We made our own clothes. We cut our own vines. We picked our own fruit. Why, we trained a lot outside. We didn't have to go into no sweaty gym and be naked. Our people were modest. Some of you brothers watching me right now, you in trouble with your woman because y'all went to the gym and you couldn't help but look. And she caught you. But the Morehyosh is trying to help you. It's hard for a real man not to look at a naked lady. So, sister, if you went with your man to the gym, knowing everybody in there is naked, you better cut him some slack. Now, if he cut his eyes at a dude or another man, oh yes, now you need to be suspect. That didn't happen. That didn't happen by accident. The gym is the gymnasium was a way to bring our people into idolatry. It was a way of getting our people into debauchery. It was a way of getting our people into adulteries and fornication. That it would eventually end up in some weird ditty parties. Our people wasn't like that. They're heathen. Let's read it. Whereupon they built places of exercise at Jerusalem. Why? There wasn't none there. To the customs of the heathen. Not Israel, heathens. Verse 15. And made themselves uncircumcised. What the hell? What? They had to go naked. I was teaching this years ago, and people didn't understand what I was saying. And I'll never forget, Sports Illustrated. Y'all can look it up. Sports Illustrated did an entire magazine during the Olympics with all of the stars of the Olympics naked. And you know that all of our stars, right? We already look good. We fine. We're beautiful people. The most beautiful in the world. But normally our people would graciously decline. No, I'm just out here to run. I'm not out here trying to start no OnlyFans. No, I ain't out here to show my behind. It's bad enough y'all got me wearing these tights. Most of us back in the day, we would at least try to put a little something, a sweat jacket around our hips or something, modest. Mad when they made us wear tights. And then fast forward and we posing naked in magazines. Why? Because that's the whole point of the gym. I know that y'all don't understand that because you caught up in the gym. Don't get mad at the movie. I said I'm going to show you where it started. The Greeks started it. And I told you they had to go into the gym and become naked. Just like today, you go in the gym, you in there half naked, right? They was all naked. They were like, man, no need some being half naked. Might as well be all naked. So they realized that they were circumcised. And because that European heathen was uncircumcised, they wanted to be like him so bad that they were allowing people to cut skin from other parts of their body to sew onto their private part so that they could look uncircumcised in front of the heathen. Now, if y'all follow that, I need you to put at least a 200,000 in the chat. I said they were cutting other parts of their skin in order to sew it on to their private part so that they could appear in front of the heathen as uncircumcised. What does that mean? It means that they were trying to get away from the covenant. Because our covenant was a covenant that required circumcision on the 8th day, that represent that we are in a covenant that Yah made with Abraham. He told Abraham, look, everybody in your house, bud, starting with you. And therefore, all of us, Abraham, Ishmael, all the servants, Isaac, Jacob, the 12 tribes, all the way through captivity. And now we are at the time, remember, they killed Darius. Now the Greeks are in control. And now we talking about, I got circumcised. I wish I would have never been circumcised. Now you're seeing where it come from. What else? He's reading. He says they forsook the holy covenant. I just mentioned it. In verse 15. And what happened? And joined themselves to the heathen. They're called heathens again. They're so wicked. And look, and they sold all the way out, which means they were all in to the Sodom and the Gomorrah. They were all in. They were all in with the baby oils. They was all in to slipping and sliding. They was all in. They was all in to that which is sickening and gross. They were all in to that which caused the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah. They were all in. Just like today, they have convinced our people today to be all in. Sold out to what? Mischievousness and wickedness. Verse 16. Now, when the kingdom was established before Antiochus, he thought to reign over Egypt. that he might have dominion of two realms. I told you they can't sleep knowing that somebody is free. He like, man, I'm going to go kill Egypt. I'm going to take that too. So what did he do? Wherefore he entered into Egypt with a great multitude, with chariots and elephants and horsemen and a great navy, and made war against Ptolemy, king of Egypt. But Ptolemy was afraid of him and fled, and many were wounded to death. He just went killing. They just wake up in the morning with violence in their mind and they go kill. That's what they do. These people wasn't bothering them. Thus they got strong cities in the land of Egypt and took the spoil. Oh, that's how they got their stuff. They stole it. I know this is something that's over your head a lot. But everything the Europeans have that are of value, they stole it. They killed people and took it. Their value is not intrinsic. Their value is not built in to their own nation and their own customs and their own ingenuity and their own imagination and their own artwork and their own music and their own philosophy. No, 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 no. Everything that you think the European has on his own, when you research it, you're going to find he stole it. Pythagoras did not come up with music. What the hell is wrong with y'all? First of all, music is in Genesis. I ain't got time to deal with that. Music is in the book of Genesis. So let's just start there. But nobody was a better musician than David. David could play the piano, which is a harp. David could play the harp so good, he could run the devil out of somebody. Somebody would have murderous thoughts in their mind, satanic thoughts, and could call David. And David would start playing, and then all of a sudden he started thinking about daffodils and butterflies and babbling brooks and meandering streams and soft why soft pastel like sunsets and sunrises. Why? Because David will start playing. And then they want to claim to have started music. Man, Joseph is the one who understood math. Not Egypt, not Europe. Joseph is the one that figured out how to make storage houses that saved the whole world. Yeah, y'all gonna come to the True Watch in the morning. All of the philosophers is coming out now. Got all their stuff from Africa, got their stuff from Egypt, but most of them got it from us. Why? Because we had it all. You do know our writers and our prophets were so far above the European. The Europeans ain't had no Moses. Moses is us. Man, the European ain't had no writers like Moses. Have y'all read Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Number, and Deuteronomy to see how highbrow literature that is? Europeans ain't have that. Have you read the conquest of the Promised Land by Joshua? Have you read the story as the victories, the struggles, the successes, and the failure of the judges? Have you read the love story of Ruth and Boaz? That white man ain't got no books like that. That Greek, when he came down under Antiochus Epiphanes, he did not they ain't never had nothing like that. We been had that. They never had literature like Queen Hadassah, who was so fine and so beautiful that while everybody else was putting on clothes to impress the king and trying to be fancy, she said, I don't need to do none of that. Just give me my regular clothes. They have nothing. They have nothing like that. But she said, nah, I'm just going to go in like I am. And he looked at her and said, there she is. That's my queen. We married. That's it. Girl, what you want? Up to half the kingdom, you can have it. And don't think the Morehyosh is talking. That's in the Bible. They didn't have nothing like that. They don't have, the Greeks didn't know nothing but freaky and killing, plummeting, pillaging. They didn't know, they didn't have highbrow literature. There was nothing that you could read coming up out of that place or anywhere in Europe where you could, why they didn't have nothing like we had. Our literature talked about being raised up on eagle's wings. They didn't have no literature like that. They were talking about ghosts and goblins and blood-eating animals and things when we were talking about taking the wings of the morning and flying to yonder's hill. We said Yah would be right there with us. If somehow I had to go down to the depths of the sea, he would be right there with me. They didn't have no literature like that. They stole that from us. They did not have eagle-eyed prophets like Isaiah. Nothing in their literature could reach the high heights of have you not heard? Yeah, come on now. Nothing. Are you kidding me? Boy, matter of fact, they were so jealous of our writers that when they got our Bible, they painted all the people in our Bible white. I said they painted all our people white. They couldn't believe niggas could write like that. They couldn't believe it. They were like, where'd y'all get that book? My uncle wrote that. Your uncle wrote, they that wait upon y'all shall renew your strength, shall mount up on wings like eagles, shall run and not be weary, shall walk and not faint. Who is your uncle? Isaiah. No, it ain't. He ain't gonna be no nigga no more. Boy, look here. Boy, they grabbed the whole of our rifle. They said, oh, wait, hold on. We got to turn all this white. Yes. Yeah, we got to turn it all in. They never had nothing like this. High level. They stole it from us. Literature from us. History from us. Mathematics from us. How to plant from us. How to let the land rest from us. How to wash their hands from us. How to be clean from us. How to get rid of mold out your house from us. The order of the family with Yah first. From us. The right proper order. Hamashiach is over the man, but the man is over the woman. And the woman is over the children. And the children will be over the dog and cat. Them heathens had that thing flipped all upside down. The dog came before the wife. The wife could boss her husband. The children were running wild. What are y'all talking about? Everything they got from us. More, why are you putting the emphasis? Because I want to show you they stole it. You think that they're teaching you something, Israel. But I want you to, those of you who are watching the Moreh right now, look inside of your DNA. When you close your eyes and take a deep breath, ask Abaya to unlock what the heathen locked. Ask Yah, open my eyes to what he shut. Show me who I really am. Because he lied and said I was a nigga, a coon, a spook. I thought I was just a heathen. Because what you're looking for, you are already it. So your search is going to be in vain. Trying to look for something that you already are. That's like a hill saying, if I could just find the earth. You're an expression of the earth. That's like a wave of the water. That's like an ocean wave saying, boy, I wish I could get to the ocean. You are the one. What are you talking about? What you looking for? I keep telling y'all, my job is to wake up Jacob. I'm not trying to make Jacob. I'm just trying to wake up Jacob. You need to know you don't have to search for Jacob. You are Jacob. You don't have to search for Israel. You are Israel. You don't have to search for Yah's people. You are his people and the sheep of his pasture, the apple of his eye. I wish y'all could do it. I really wish you could. They got you messed up. I keep telling y'all this, and I'm going to keep telling you. You don't have to search for beauty. You are already beautiful. It's the ugly ducks that's jealous. But you don't believe me. I don't know how to make you see it. The swan in the story of the ugly duckling was not ugly. The whole point of the story is you only an ugly duck when the ugly ducks don't know that you ain't a duck. You're the swan. You don't have to do your hair like that. Your hair is the best in the world. Your skin is the best tone. Whatever y'all gave you is the best. Look, I'm going to say something too. I don't care if you got vitiligo. What's that called? Am I pronouncing it right? Look, you look better with your vitiligo than they do without it. Now, all of a sudden, people are starting to realize that. Everybody was painting it, but now, all of a sudden, they went, hold on, man, this is kind of funky. I gotta get out the room. Yeah, I'm digressing. But it's happening. People are like, man, you know what, man? Hey, got a little light over here, a little dark right here. Hey, that's kind of cool, man. And now what they doing? They funking it out. I keep telling the brothers, man, stop putting that whole big old fat paintbrush on your head. Man, look, you got like a little gray, a little black. Man, wear it. Shoot, I tell you nothing. Beauty, the standard is you. You're the standard of everything. You're the standard of singing. You're the standard of dance. And that's why it's dangerous for us to go crooked. It's dangerous for us to operate outside of our call. Why? Because we are so influential in this world that if we do negative things, the entire world follows us into our negativity. That's why the Bible said don't do negative. Our king said, y'all got to watch it because you're the light of the world. In other words, everybody's watching you. That's what the word means. So since they are watching you to follow you, you have a choice. Either you can do good works that will bring glory to the Father. But if you do evil work, woo-wee, it's almost like irretrievable. It's almost impossible to reel a society back in if we go crooked. Yah has called us to be the moral compass of society. That's why he said, if you lose your savor as the salt, then you're good for nothing but to be cast out and trodden under the foot of man. Stop looking for who you already are and just wake up. But these people wanted to be something different. They wanted to be with the heathen. Why? Scared. And so you saw, you saw that Egypt was taken. And then they took all the stuff out of Egypt. The heathen did. And after that, Antiochus had smitten Egypt. He returned again in the 140th and third year and went up against Israel and Jerusalem. Did you see it? Why? Because Israel and Jerusalem is next door to Egypt. Now you got Negroes going around talking about the Holy Land ain't in the place that it said it is. I don't know what to say. It was right next door. That's why he took it. Now, what did he do when he got there? He went against Israel and Jerusalem with a great multitude and entered proudly into the sanctuary and took away no more. I told you they stole everything they got. You're going to believe the Moreh Monday. They stole everything that they have. They stole it from us. And we're going to learn about some chimney, some Santa Claus, some white man bringing gifts on this time of year. No, we're supposed to be learning that this is when they came down and took everything from us. This is when it started. So what did they take? They took away the golden altar. What? Yeah. When y'all go to the museums in Greeks, and you go to a museum in Rome, and you go to museums all over Europe, and you see all of those artifacts, they took it from us. And it was recorded that they took it. I'm not making it up. This used to be in the King James Bible, but they took it out before they set us free. They didn't want us to read this part. What else did they take away? And the candlestick of light. What is that? Y'all write that in the chat. What is our candlestick of light? Write it in the chat. Let me see if anybody knows what he's talking about. Z, you are right as rain. Yahrahn, you're right. Brian, and boy, they moving so fast now. Yade, I can't see it. Yes, the menorah. You see it, the menorah. Phantom got it. The menorah. Yourself. Shalom, yeah. Bruce, you got it. The menorah. Yes. I keep telling y'all. They got our stuff. When they took our stuff, they created a religion based on our stuff. I'm not going to do this tonight because I'm just trying to show you. You see how stupid Christmas sound now? You see how ignorant and how asinine and how childish we're talking about Santa Claus and stuff instead of talking about what Antiochus Epiphanes did to us when we were trying to mind our own business, when we were trying to actually keep the Torah, We were actually trying. You see what Alexander did to the mindset of the people, made them want to be heathens? Do you see we started going crooked? He, and she, shin, and carrying on. Did you see us getting away from our covenant, away from circumcision? Did you see it? It's all in the Bible. They had to take this out because they knew that if we read this, we would put, wait a minute, hold on, say it more, right? 2 and 2 together. They knew it. They said, wait a minute, hold on. If they read this, if they start reading this book, they're going to be like, wait, hold on. Alexander wasn't great. He's wicked. Antiochus Epiphanes was full of Satan. They took our stuff. Oh, I know what I wanted to mention here. Before I move on, what time is it? Okay, before I move on, I wanted to mention right here, this is why you need to know that what y'all call the New Testament was not written in Greek. The Greeks did not know our Bible. They stole it. They stole our menorah. They stole our writing. That's when we get down to these treasures. That's the treasure. Our treasure was the Torah. It was written in Hebrew. So the Septuagint cannot be the original. This is the first time we have interacted with this freaky Greek, these satanic people. We ain't never dealt with these people before the first time. So how do they know our Bible better than us? How do they know Genesis better than Moses? Exodus. I heard somebody trying to argue with me about the Septuagint versus the Hebrew. And I'm trying to quit cussing. Y'all got to pray for the Moreh all the time. But certain things, in my opinion, deserve to have choice words said. How do you even put your brain to say that the Greeks understood our Bible better than us and we wrote it? Well, in the Septuagint, nigga, who gives a damn about the Septuagint? When we sitting here with the Hebrew text and we're learning how to read it and write it, we're learning how to do it fluent. It's coming. There's people watching me right now that are reading Hebrew fluent. I say fluent. They don't need no English in the book. They just open it and it's just all Hebrew. And now they're getting the understanding. Yes. And now when we look at the Greek, we go, wait, no, the Greeks got that wrong. They done messed up right here. Yeah, you can see where they misinterpret something. Why? Because it's not theirs. And they did the same thing to the quote-unquote New Testament. It was also written in Hebrew. They don't know our prophets. They don't know our people, our preachers. I mean, they weren't concerned about that. Let me keep reading. Let me show y'all. They took away the golden altar. They took our menorah. And they took all our vessels. What vessels? All of our cups. All of our snuffers. All of our spoons. They took everything that we had that reminded us about Israel. They stole it. It's in the Bible. And the table of the showbread. Wait, what? Yeah, the Europeans didn't come up with the showbread. That was our thing. The showbread, remember, represented the 12 tribes of Israel. It was the bread that had to be cooked every day in order to show the people that Yah was a constant provision. He was the constant provision for the house of Israel. So the showbread was set up on a ledge. Remember, David said when he was hungry, David was like, man, I'm starving. But they were like, man, me too. And boy, one of them fellows that hang around David said, boy, my belly feel like it's wrapped around my backbone. David said, if I can get to the house of Yah, if y'all can just cover me, and I can get to the house of Yah, I'm going to get that bread. Well, the Bible said David went and got that bread and was blameless. He was hungry. So anyway, my point is, it was for us. It was for us. But that ain't no European story. That didn't come from the Greeks. That didn't come from the Romans. That didn't come from China. That didn't come from Russia or Germany or the Americas. That's a Hebrew Israelite story. That is our table. They just took it. So now our people don't know anything. Watch. So now, right to this day, our people in captivity, we don't know about our golden altar. Why? Because they stole it. We don't know about the menorah. Why? They stole it. We don't know about all the vessels we had. Why? Because they stole it from us. We don't know about the showbread. Why? They stole it. And the pouring vessels and the vials and the censers of gold, the veils. They took down the veils. Dang! And the crowns. Oh, our kings had crowns. And we didn't know that. Why? Because they stole all the crowns. And the golden ornaments that was before the temple. We don't know nothing about that. All these are scriptures, all of which he pulled off. Wait. Oh, that's right. Now you remember, don't you, that some of the stuff that we had in the temple was overlaid with gold. Some of the things that we had were overlaid with gold. This dude, man, took a chisel. He had hammers and people separating the gold from the stone, separating the gold from the wood. This is pillaging at its finest. That's why we think we don't have nothing, because they stole it all. I'm not even getting to the point that one of the Dariuses, right, is the one who gave us permission to take our stuff back and rebuild our temple. But that's not my point today, so I can't get into that. But yeah, we were building, I'm telling you, this Greek thing that ends up becoming Roman, this was the worst of the heathen. Just telling you. So he took the silver and the gold, the precious vessels. He took the hidden treasures which he found. Torah. Took our scrolls. Took all our writings. And when he had taken all away, he went to his own land. But he didn't just go with all that stuff, having made a great massacre. He killed hundreds of us. Why? It's because he wanted to. You have to have a reason. Just kill them all. You see them doing that now all over the world. Everybody can't mention it, but they do it. We're under Babylon right now, but you're watching Babylon in the Middle East right now. They say, kill them all. We don't care. What about their stuff? I don't care about their stuff. They ain't got nothing. Kill them all. What about these people up north? Man, just kill them all. What about these people over here? Man, just kill them. Take it. If we want it, we can have it. I told y'all we're living in the apocalypse. So now when I tell you they stole all our stuff, y'all be like, oh, he ain't just talking. No, I'm not just talking. This is not the only time. We put this in the chat so much. Y'all should have it memorized by now. Look at the Arch of Titus. It's been stoned. Them heathens are carrying away our stuff. And when he had taken all away, he went into his own land, having made a great massacre, and spoke very proud. Therefore, there was a great mourning in Israel, in every place where they were, so that the princes and the elders mourned. The virgins and young men were made feeble, and the beauty of the women was changed. Every bridegroom took up a lamentation. And we was marrying and trying to get along, trying to keep Torah, and here come this wicked heathen. And she that sat in the marriage chamber was heaviness. This is a picture of a woman who was about to get married, and he came in and killed her husband on the day of the wedding. Sick, twisted brains, no regard. Mothers, fathers, children. Y'all gonna see it. You be like, Maury, this can't be in the Bible. They took it out because when you read this, it's parallel to what they did to us in this captivity here. You cannot escape it. It is so identical, except this captivity was worse than this. Robbing us from our land, stealing everything that we had, then taking away from us all of our identity, and then raping and killing and torturing, and it didn't happen for no 2 days or 5 days, 400 years. This is what they don't want to teach us. They rather tell you about Dasher and Prancer and Vixen and pixie dust and mistletoe, but they won't teach you this. But I've been called. The land, verse 28, the land was so moved. The land also was moved for the inhabitants thereof, and all of the house of Jacob was covered with confusion. That means all of Israel, we was like, what in the hell? We had never seen nothing like that. We never seen nothing like that. And after 2 years fully expired, the king sent his chief collector of the tribute to the cities of Judah, who came to Jerusalem with a great multitude. Wait, what? He came down, stole everything we had, tore up everything, and then killed almost a whole massacre of people. And then 2 years later, they came back asking for money? Taxes. And he spake peaceable words unto them, but it was all deceit. Who was that? Amen. I'm just trying to do what I got to do, but in your mind, you wicked as hell. You know that's not why you're there. But when they had given him credence, he fell suddenly upon the city, smote it very sore, and destroyed much of the people. He came down to get the tribute, and he was saying, if you guys just give me the money, we'll be cool, right? So the people were like, damn, we don't want to die like we did 2 years ago when you killed everybody. So everybody gave him the money. And after he got the money, he killed them anyway. I thought you said it. Yeah, well, it was leaving dead. Had never been around people like that. And when he had taken and destroyed much of the people of Israel, that's our ancestors. And when he had taken the spoils of the city, he did what? Set it on fire. Damn. You took all the money from the people, and then you killed them. And then instead of just leaving, you set it on fire? Why? If you ask this white man, why did you do this? You know what he would say? Why not? Wicked. If I hadn't done it, somebody else would have. What? Wicked. He set it on fire and pulled down the houses and the walls thereof on every side. But the women and the children took they captive. That means they took the women and our kids. That's theft. That's kidnapping. Sickening. And took the cattle. Then builded they the city of David with a great strong wall and with mighty towers and made it strong for them. Wait, they did what? Then they built a city so that they could move down there. No more, yeah. This is real. And they put therein a sinful nation of wicked men. Wicked men fortified themselves in. So they came in, stole all the stuff, all the valuables, went back. 2 years later, they came back, told them, y'all give me my tribute, and I'm cool with you. So everybody went and got the money, gave it to them. Then they slaughtered them anyway, burned all the houses, pulled everything down, and then set up another wall, and then brought other wicked people to then live in the town. And what did these wicked people do? Wicked men, and fortified themselves therein. They stored it also with armor and victuals. And when they had gathered the spoils of Jerusalem, they laid them up there. And so they became a sore and a snare. What does that mean? Remember, you have to feed soldiers. You have to pay them. You have to feed them. So what they did was they built their own walls. And then they robbed the people and they put whatever they got inside of the walls to take care of these wicked soldiers that were there and these wicked people. I'm telling you. And it was right in the middle of the city. It was crazy what they had done. But it's like they put their ammunition and everything there. For it was a place to lie in wait against the sanctuary and an evil adversary to Israel. It was sick. I'm telling you. Thus they shed innocent blood on every side of the sanctuary and defiled it. What does that mean? It means that they sacrificed people on the altars on every side. They just randomly would just go out and find somebody, pull them in, and sacrifice them on, just like they still do to this day. What you think the lynching is? All these missing people. What you think all that slavery was? What you think fireworks were? I done told you all 100 times. What do you think Christmas ordinances were? Ornaments were hanging from Christmas trees. Hanging people, hanging us was a part of their Christmas tree ornament. I know it's sickening, but it's the truth. This is how it happened. They shed innocent blood, and defiled it, in so much that the inhabitants of Jerusalem fled because of them. Whereupon the city was made a habitation of strangers. They took over our city now. You see it? So now they have taken over Jerusalem. They've taken over the Holy Land. Who? These Greeks. And later, you're going to see the Romans do it. And that's how we lost our land, really. From this point forward, we go in. I'm not going to finish the lesson tonight. And from this point forward, we end up going into Confederate because we just can't fight every day. Even Judah. And I didn't get to Judah Maccabee tonight and his dad and all that. But eventually, our people had to do something because the bloodshed. They would not leave us alone. The warring was unbelievable. The murder and the massacres were unbelievable. So as valiant as we tried to fight, we couldn't whoop that beast. That the Maccabees, I hate to bust y'all bubble, but the celebration of the dedication of the temple was not a victory of a war. It was the recognition of a little respite. You know what that means? It was the recognition of just a little bit of peace, a little bit of shalom in the midst of fighting and killing and maiming and destruction and innocent blood. It was just a picture They came back from one of the battles, and they saw that the temple was just, they couldn't believe it. And they were like, we got to do something. So they ended up, getting another altar and some stuff, and then they had a dedication. And that's the part of the story that we celebrate. But they never won the war. They won battles. Eventually, Judah dies in battle when you keep reading the story. And one of his brothers, it's a long story, but anyway, once you get down to it, after so much bloodshed and so much loss, our people realized we couldn't ultimately beat all of Europe, especially when Rome took over Greece. When Rome killed all them people and overpowered. Now, I told you them Greeks were some dirty, nasty, wicked people, unbelievably sick. But they only were second to the Romans. And when the young Maccabee, one of the younger brothers, I think it was one of the younger brother, but one of the brothers, he basically was like, "No, we can't win. We can't beat the beast because we've never seen nothing like this." And I'm gonna close this message tonight, but I wanted to share something with you. The reason why this story was in the Bible between Malachi and Matthew is because it was right here. It's because it explains how we close the book of Malachi with our own king in our own land, right? With a promise. And then we would read the Apocrypha, and we would then open Matthew, and you would find out that during this time, now when Yeshua was born in Bethlehem, wait a minute, hold on. Yeah, it says, in the days of Herod the king. So the Maccabees in this history is the bridge. How did we go from our own king to Herod being a king over Israel? We find out that Herod was appointed by Rome because Rome had whooped, we all find this out because Rome had whooped Greece. So now the Romans are in charge during the time of Messiah. We never did win that battle with the Greeks, and we didn't win it against Rome. I just want you to understand that. What we celebrate is the fact that we stood up against the tyrant, and Abaya allowed us a little space of peace, just a little time to regather, to regroup. But eventually our people had to make a deal with Rome. And when you get to the quote unquote New Testament, now you are seeing us living in this agreement. So there's a contractual agreement between the house of Israel and the Roman Empire. Rome does not trust us, so Rome sets up its own counterfeit king, Herod. Then Rome sets over the province their own governor, Pilate. And Pilate has under his direction his own army, if you want to use that word, which is where we see like the centurions. This is when we see the Romans in our Bible, because they took over from Greece, but they're still against us. One of the agreements was, and I'm getting ahead of myself now, but one of the agreements was, one, we couldn't do no rebelling, or we was dead. Number two, we could not join any other kingdom. If we joined any other kingdom, they would immediately come and wipe us out. And so therefore, when the Messiah showed up, you can see why the step-and-fetch-it leaders were so tied to Rome. They were under a contract. And the Messiah had already told them, look, man, I ain't here to overthrow Rome. And they were like, what are you talking about? He was like, look, I'm here. If I start judgment, I got to start with y'all. Because you sellouts. You whitewashed sepulchres. Just like these preachers and pastors today that I keep trying to warn you all about. They work for Rome. They work for the government. They work for the city. They work, y'all just don't believe the Moreh. They work for conventions. They are not out here willy-nilly. They know where they can say and what they can't. They have to push the agenda of the Roman Empire because they're in contract with them. They say the same thing. If I teach what the Moreh are teaching, I'm going to lose my church. That's exactly what Ananias and Caiaphas said. Annas and Caiaphas, that's what they said. If we follow him, Rome's going to take our place. So no, they don't want you to know what really happened. They don't really want you to know what happened in the wintertime and what they did to us and what they stole from us and what they put us through. And I ain't even got time. I ain't even started with the actual story. Do you know that the stuff I'm reading to you right now is the prelude, is the introduction? What time is it? I'm not going to comment. I'm just going to read. I'm not going to do much comment. I'm just going to read. I'm going to finish this out. Insomuch that the inhabitants of Jerusalem fled, whereupon the city was made an inhabitant of strangers and became strange to them that were born in her, and her own children left her. Verse 39, her sanctuary was laid waste like a wilderness. 12 are a sanctuary. Her feasts were turned to mourning. Means we couldn't keep the feast. It's outside today, right? Her Sabbath into a reproach. You couldn't keep the Shabbat. Just like today, they won't keep the Shabbat. Her honor into contempt. What? Yeah, the things that were honorable are now contemptible. As had been her glory, so was her dishonor. So was her dishonor increased. And her excellence was turned into mourning. That ain't all. Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people. Do you see it? Everybody trying to unite together today? It's called ecumenicalism. Look it up. They have not changed. And everyone should leave his law, Torah, so all the heathen agreed. All the who? All the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king. Not yet. Just like these pastors today. Yeah. Many also of the Israelites consented to his religion, Christianity. Promise you. I'll show it to you. and sacrificed unto idols, and did what? Profane the Shabbat. See it? What do they do today? Profane the Shabbat. That's why they won't teach you this. They'd rather have you singing to Christmas trees, talking about how lovely are your branches. I told you I saw a pastor with a damn Santa Claus hat on and his kids had it on. I couldn't believe what I was looking at. I'm talking about one of us. I expect the heathen to do that because these are the people that you see today are the children of these heathen. So that's what they do. But to see our people do that today, and I know y'all gonna be like, what do you mean more vans everywhere? That's not my point. The fact that they're still doing it after I showed it to them. It'd be different if they didn't see it. You say, well, they just didn't know. No, but they know now. Ain't nobody out here, I keep telling y'all. There is no preachers out here and pastors out here today that don't know this now. There is none. Number one, I got 1 million views. I don't know how many people have watched the More Rate. But do you know that there's so many of me out there telling the world this about these people and about this man, about what happened to us. Though the leadership we have today are turning a deaf ear to it. Just like in this day. So now they're not going to keep the Shabbat. It's a reproach. And her honor into contempt. As it had been her glory, so was her dishonor increased. Moreover, King Antiochus wrote that everyone should leave his Torah, his law, so that the heathen agreed according to the commandments of the king. Yeah. Also, many of the Israelites consented to his religion and sacrificed to idols and profaned the Shabbat. They were like, okay, then we just won't do Shabbat. For the king had sent letters by messengers to Jerusalem and the cities of Judea that they should follow the strange laws of the land. Damn. And forbid burnt offerings and sacrifice and drink offerings in the temple. And that they should profane the Shabbat. You see that in there again? And festival days. Do you see it in there again? Why are they so against our Shabbat and so against our feast days? Because it's the covenant. And pollute the sanctuary and holy people. What else did they do? They set up altars and groves and chapels of idols and the sacrifice of swine flesh. Why? Because Torah forbids us to touch the carcass of a swine, let alone eat it. Now, the heathen is not just putting swine flesh on a physical altar. Now he has our people consuming that same swine flesh into the altar of the heart. They're putting it in their life. It's not just the abomination of desolation of a stone pillar inside of a sanctuary. Now it's the abomination of desolation on a heart pillar. And our people voluntarily defile their temple. I told you, I almost preached a sermon and called it, this is where it all started. This is where it started. And now you have our people who are so sold out to swine, they'll cuss you out if you even tell them something about it. And I bring it up all the time because I know it's an irritation. But the reason why I bring it up because I know it's also in the scriptures. And I know that that's what the heathen is doing. That's one of the things he's doing. He makes sure that his feast days, his holidays, right, all have to evolve around that pig. He's getting ready to do it in a minute. With that pig is going to be on that table. He's going to make you eat it. But at this time, he was just putting it on he was polluting the sanctuary with it. And unclean beasts. I'm almost done. That they should leave their children uncircumcised and make their souls abominable with all uncleanness and profanation. Why? Why would they do all that? Verse 49. To the end that they who us might forget Torah. They did all that for one reason? Yeah. To get us to forget the Torah. That's deep, ain't it? That's so cold. They took this story out of the Bible. They took these books out. Why? Because it looked like them. But it is them. And this is us all over again. The number one doctrine that they have in the so-called church coming out of captivity is Sunday morning over Shabbat. Number one. Number two, Christmas over the dedication. I should say no. Number two really is Easter. You got to have Easter over Passover. You must do Easter instead of Passover. You gotta do Halloween instead of Sukkot. You can't do dedication. You gotta do Christmas. They gotta always do that. And everything they do, it surrounds a swine and some other kind of stuff. I'm out the room. Y'all was kind to hang in there this long. I just wanted to show you what's in what they took out. And now you see, not only did they take it out, but why they took it out. They did it so that we would forget Torah. But what they didn't realize, Zion, is that they don't have the final say. They didn't realize that we are under a covenant that our Messiah ratified with his blood, which means that everything in that covenant is going to come to pass, including the remnant waking up out of this mess that we're in, leaving all of this wicked foolishness and turning back to our King. Part of the covenant is our waking up in these last days and our return to him. Now watch. I told you that they didn't fight that battle, right? They didn't win. But the battle will be fought. If y'all understand that and you grew tonight, how about y'all helped you see it? Support the work of the ARK. Support what we're doing here. Help us keep teaching like this, preaching like this, and opening your eyes. Why? We're about to go home. Our King is coming. And this last battle, he is getting ready to fight it himself against the empire that is the beast. And you need to be on the right side. They tried to make us forget his law, but no. Yah woke us up. And now we're returning to the very law that they was trying to make us forget. And let me tell you something, all you Antiochus Epiphanes and all you so-called Alexander the Greats and all you Caesars and all you presidents and potentates, woo, when our King come back, It's going to be hell to pay. For you dare lay the finger on the apple of his eye. You touched us. You in trouble. And look, everybody get out of Babylon. Forget about all that wickedness they're trying to give you. And let's turn to the Torah. Don't let them win. I gotta go put a 1 million in the chat. I do appreciate all of you put a 1 million in the chat. Please, just let the world know, yeah, we saw it in a different light tonight. Thank you, administrators, for hanging in there. Once again, support the work of the ARK as we continue to support you. Pray for us as we pray for you. And until next time, keep looking up for our redemption. Draws nigh. Hallelujah.